Hi, I'm corporate trainer Dana Brownlee, and I want to talk about a huge mistake that I see so many organizations make as it relates to project management. When I'm teaching classes filled with project managers, non-project managers, I often start with a question that sounds like this. What is the first step of project management? And invariably, most people will say planning because that seems to make sense. But unfortunately, it's wrong. The first step of project management is not planning. The step that most people skip is initiation. And that's really the first step of project management. Initiation is there to prevent you from starting a project that should never have been initiated in the first place. And as I go around the country and I teach project management classes, I hear tons of horror stories about organizations that embarked on projects that ended up to be a total drain of resources, a waste of time, and a lot of stress and turmoil in the process. So the question becomes, what should you be doing during that initiating phase? And I've come up with 6 questions that are key to ask yourself when you have the idea or the concept in your head and you're trying to decide, should this become a project? Question number 1, what problem are we really trying to solve? And is a project the best way to do that? Just because you're talking about something casually or throwing around some ideas doesn't mean there's a true problem that really does need to be solved. One of my favorite examples of this that I talk about in class was, I remember when I was growing up and Coca-Cola was the biggest brand, I think, worldwide, but they came up with this idea of introducing new Coke. And I'm still kind of scratching my head trying to figure out what problem were they really trying to solve. Question number 2, is a project a good use of resources? I mean, resources are precious, whether it's human capital, whether it's time, it's money. So it's always great to think about the benefits that we could get from the project, but we also need to think about the costs. And that leads us to question number 3. Do the benefits actually outweigh the costs? And then question 4, what are the risks associated with this project? What could possibly go wrong? We certainly want to have a robust conversation around that. And then 5, what's the cost of not doing the project? What's that going to mean for us? And then finally, considering everything, question 6, should we walk away? I'm sure most of us can think about projects that we've been associated with where it just would have been so much better if the decision had been made early on to just walk away. So these are 6 questions I'd like you to think about before you get to project planning. When you're in that critical vetting period where you really should be deciding, should this become a project or not? For more project management tips and resources, as well as resources on a variety of other topics, including leadership, communications, and overall productivity, please visit our resource library at professionalismmatters.com. Thanks so much.